Well, what's up, folks? It is episode 117, and it is finally Super Bowl Sunday. And for two teams, one looking for another championship and the other one looking for their first championship to have, just like we do in Philadelphia, finally that elusive ring. So with it being Super Bowl Sunday, of course, you end up wearing the Super Bowl championship gear because we can finally celebrate and see that in Philadelphia. And we're hoping with our brand new coach that we can finally get that second one that we need. So the first one is always a good one, but we're hoping for number two. And with that being said, welcome everyone. It is Super Bowl Sunday. Again, episode 117 here on Broad Street South. And we have Red Line Radio in the house. Of course, the Steel City Renegades with Dave Wallencheck, Chipper Nenendall, and Lee Mike Fuji Money for all purposes today. Representing again, RedlineRadioLLC.com. If you guys get an opportunity, check out the website. It is a fantastic website, and whatever music you would like, I'm pretty sure they can request it and put it on there for you. But check out their lineup on Facebook as well, on Redline Radio banner, and also the Redline Radio LLC side. You guys can see from top to bottom, they're always on 7 days a week. So with that being said, we also have the Godfather on the other side. And as the guys were mentioning, we were talking about maybe he has his golf hat on today. But we'll see, because the Godfather can wear whatever he wants just because he is the Godfather. Also, Sheriff Joe Baggs is with us again this week and getting ready to celebrate out there in LA when he's right around the corner from SoFi Stadium. So we have an action-packed show for you guys. And by the way, our other guest could not be on with us today because he's already celebrating out there in Ohio. And I don't mean the celebration is that hard type of celebration, meaning that he's got a good amount of folks all together in one location getting ready to celebrate the Super Bowl, as we are at this point just about 5.5 hours away from kickoff. So with that being said, I'm Angel. This is Super Bowl Sunday, and we can't wait to see what's going to happen tonight. But in the meantime, welcome everyone from the stateside to overseas to down in Brazil. We appreciate you tuning in to episode 117 here on Broad Street South. The man with the plan here that likes to wear his Eagles Fandango hat, if I can call it that way, is the Godfather, Mike Fuji. Fuji, what's going on tonight? How are you?
Super Bowl 56 is finally here. The Rams and Bengals squaring off. Angel, how are you? Fired up for the Super Bowl? Hope everybody's ready. How is everybody doing? It's a little chilly up here in Philly. So let's get this party rocking. The show started. And how the hell are you, Angel Martinez?
Listen, I'm doing just fine here live from the LG Direct Sales Solutions Studios in Tampa, Florida, where it is at balmy 69 degrees down here today. We might hit 70. I'm not too sure, but the rain finally went away. It's a good day for at least a good game outside. But in the meantime, we'll wait out there in LA with Sheriff. He'll let us know exactly how the temperature and the feel is out there, the vibes, as they're getting ready to kick things off out there in LA. But in the meantime, Drew Garrison, who was formerly with us, Drew is out there celebrating in Cincinnati and putting his folks together. The Cincy Jungle is getting ready to party it up out in Ohio. So I would imagine it's going to be the same feels that we just had 4 short years ago. So we hope that Drew Garrison enjoys his time out there in Cincy. I know he wanted to make it out there to LA, but he's going to be just like we did in Philly, celebrate back home. With that being said as well, I want to welcome in before I welcome in the Sheriff. And by the way, any phone call that comes in today will be brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com, as the hotline will be open. I'll post a number up here momentarily, but the hotline will be open at PhillySportsTrips.com. And with that being said, we bring in the gentleman from Steel City Renegades, Redline Radio LLC.com, Lee Mike Fuji Money, Chipper Nenendall, and Dave Wallencheck. Fellas, how are you this Super Bowl Sunday? And it's frozen. Imagine that. Big intro, and this is what happens. It's all frozen. Well, guess what? While we wait for there they are. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Here's Ireland. It's Florida.
We are good, though, Angel. I mean, we're trying to warm up here. It's a balmy 20 degrees here in Cleveland, Ohio.
It's me. Literally balmy.
Yeah, very balmy. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to see one of our division rivals win the Super Bowl, but at the same time, it almost feels like somebody from this division should win the Super Bowl.
You see, the way I look at it like this is, and this is a little bit more sticking it into the first energy. How nice would it be for us to say that we've won champions or Super Bowls, Ravens have won it, and Cincinnati, and that team that plays in first energy hasn't won one?
This is true.
How nice would that be when you bring a topic conversation up about that? How about that, Chipper?
No lie, that would be phenomenal. Not gonna lie.
That's one reason why I'm pulling for Cincinnati. And the other reason why I'm pulling for Cincinnati, because I think Joe Burrow's the real deal.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But it is Super Bowl Sunday, so let's get it going.
Yes, sir. Well, you guys, unfortunately, might hear a little echo cancellation today, and now I'll try to take care of that here today, and now I'll try to take care of that here. Give me a second.
Yeah, I hear a lot of.
Yeah, it'll hopefully end up going away here. Unfortunately, because of the mic situation over at Steel City Renegades, hopefully all this stuff ends up being sorted out. But with that being said, let's welcome in out there from LA, which they're hoping for another championship. It is Sheriff Joe Baggs. Sheriff, how are you feeling this early afternoon and knowing that you guys are going to the bowl game?
Man, this has been an unbelievable week. This build-up has been so much fun. As excited as I am for the game, I almost want this to I'm just kind of soaking it in so it can take its time, man. This week has been unbelievable. Just happy to be back here. And thank you guys for having me back on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on, Sheriff. You're back in town, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, not a problem whatsoever. And as I'm assuming down there, or at least over there on the left coast in LA, it has to be absolutely just insane. And we all know you're from Colorado, so I'm pretty sure the folks back home waiting for you to arrive in Colorado will have just as much fun, and hoping you bring back a ring, a T-shirt, a hat, anything to celebrate again. But Sheriff, leading up to it, we all know, right? It feels like forever. The 2-week period, the layover for it to finally get here to the big dance, it seems like forever. To describe your own feelings, what's it been like for you for the last 2 weeks? And now knowing you guys are just hours away at this point to either celebrate or at least from the kickoff.
Well, that NFC Championship game was awesome. Beating your biggest division rival, a team that defeated the Rams 6 straight times, and then winning that game to go to the Super Bowl. These last few weeks have been borderline exhausting. I'm pretty tired right now, but that's also, it's been surreal. Just this build-up has been so much fun. I'm feeling real good. I feel confident. I feel like my Rams are going to get to have a good day today, and Cincinnati Bengals are definitely no joke, but feeling good and just happy to be here, man. This beats what we used to be so bad. So I'll just take it, man. It's been a lot of fun.
5 years later, Joe, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, everything was, all the hype, you wait in 2 weeks, watching the press conferences, the Eagles out there, Nick Foles, it's like David slaying Goliath going up against Tom Brady, and just all the hype. The city was buzzing. Everybody was in a great mood. Everybody, the city of brotherly love. The love was flowing, like, Niagara Falls, whatever you want to call it. But, leading up to that game, just take it all in, my man, because, when the game comes, like 3 hours seems like it just flies by. Like every Sunday, all the build up, all the sports talk leading up with the podcast, and every week just flies by, and it's like the game comes and goes, and it's just like it's over in the blink of an eye. So just enjoy this ride, because the Rams pull this off, savor it, because it's going to be just bittersweet. Just as being an Eagles fan 4 or 5 years after winning the bowl, it's just a phenomenal feeling. I know it's been 18 years since the Rams won the Super Bowl when they were in St. Louis, but, it was surreal. Like, nobody knew what to expect. We had a parade of 3 to 4 million. I was fortunate to be there. One of the greatest moments of my life. You couldn't ask for a better scene and a better feeling than the Eagles finally getting the monkey off their back, winning the Super Bowl, just shutting everybody up. Dallas, whoever, the damn division, whatever it is, it's just a phenomenal feeling.
Yeah, I'm just drinking this one in, man. It's been a fun 2
Just
weeks.
take it all in, soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it's been, man. Especially this past week. I think it kind of really settled in to myself. On Tuesday, I was making all my show graphics and typing out Super Bowl and putting logos in. And so I think I just kind of sat back and just kind of took a moment to myself there. It was like, man, this has been awesome, man. Especially being a Rams fan through those St. Louis years and just seeing the toughness of it. There was a 3-year stretch when I was in high school. This team won 6 games, so this has been living through those times. I think makes this a little bit sweeter. I just don't want this week to end. I'm excited for the game. I just don't want it to end.
The game, the build up to the game is almost better as actually winning the game now. Imagine if you actually win the game, take it all in, man, enjoy it, because there are 31 other teams in this league that can actually win it. So it's so difficult to actually win the Super Bowl. Take it all in when you get there, and then if you win it, man, it's so enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky enough to see 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime, and I can honestly tell you every time feels different. Just because there's a good possibility you're going to play a different team than you played the last time you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, for the 2 for me, the one was in Detroit and then the other one was, I don't remember where 43 was. But I mean, it was 2 different teams, 2 different scenarios, but just watching it live and seeing your team raise that trophy, there's no better feeling in the world.
I've seen all 4 Super Bowls, the 2 with Cowher and the 2 with Tomlin. And, the one that sticks out to me the most is the one with Ben throwing the touchdown pass in the end zone to Santonio Holmes, which I do believe it's the greatest catch in Super Bowl history. But there's a lot of people that beg to differ and say that it's David Tyrese. I mean, if you had to do 2 catches, then probably the 2 best catches ever in Super Bowl history. I mean, let's just hope we got a good game here between Cincinnati and the Rams. Hopefully it's not a blowout. I got a close game happening myself. But kudos to both teams for getting to the Super Bowl. And who would have thought from last year to this year that the Bengals would get to the Super Bowl? Joe Burrow played, 8 games last year, his first full season in the league. There's already comparisons talked about between him and Joe Montana.
Yeah. Can't deny that at all. I mean, Joe Burrow's having a banner year. It's his 2nd year in the league, and he's got the possibility of winning a Super Bowl. I mean, for me, the only other time I've ever seen that happen was when it happened with Ben, because he won a Super Bowl his 2nd season.
3rd season.
Oh,
2006.
Okay.
He went to the Super Bowl 2006.
So,
Brady,
by the way,
Brady won in his 2nd year too. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we don't lose to another quarterback and then spawn a dynasty again. Because I don't know if my heart can handle that.
Well, Dan Marino made it. Believe in his. Who was Dan Marino drafted? 83.
84, I do believe.
84.
Yeah, he was 84. He's Pittsburgh.
That was his first year going up against Montana, and we all know what happened then. But thinking Marino would have got back to the Super Bowl, never happened.
That's a sexy website right there, Dave.
That is a sexy website.
I mean, you talk about Dan Marino, a quarterback that never won the big game. I mean, luckily he was able to get there once, and I mean, it's so hard. I mean, so hard to get the back-to-back Super Bowls. I mean, I know this is the Rams' 2nd Super Bowl in 3 years, so hopefully it's bittersweet for you guys. And just to touch on the game, Joe, what's your, just to give everybody a synopsis of everything, what's your take matchup-wise? Who do you like? I mean, you got Jalen Ramsey going up against Jamar Chase, and can you touch on the game a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, actually, from a matchup standpoint, I actually really do like the Rams in this one, and I realize that me wearing this and looking like this right now will come off potentially as biased. The way that the Bengals have played this season, they struggled offensively with exactly what the Rams want to do, which is rush 4 and sit back in a zone. And Burrow is as talented as he is, and I definitely don't want to take anything away from Burrow. He's also still very young, and this Rams defense is it's got some very smart players on it. So, of course, we know that offensive line for the Bengals is pretty rough, and the Rams with Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Greg Gaines, rushing after the passer. I mean, that could be a definite factor, but also you think of like the addition of Eric Weddle and having Jalen Ramsey back there in the secondary. If the Rams can sit back in a zone and just confuse Burrow, even if it's just for that half a second, I like the matchup here. And like I said, the Rams like to just rush forward and sit in a zone. And we've seen that's what the Bengals have struggled with this season. And, they're on one heck of a run right now, but this Rams team's in a good spot, and Ramsey being on Chase, I think like that's obviously what we want to see. Darius Williams covering T. Higgins, I feel good about that, and then whoever's in the slot, whether that's David Long Jr., Dante Dion, I feel good about this defense. I don't know how much man coverage we'll see, so I don't know if we'll see Ramsey on Chase manned up a whole lot. Of course, we do expect it, but I like this Rams defense against this Bengals offense quite a bit.
You spoke. Sorry, Fuji. You spoke on Eric Waddle real quick. Where was he at last year? He retired in retirement. He said he was selling insurance at his home. He said after the Super Bowl he's done. He don't want to play football no more.
Yeah, he was coaching his kids, actually, just trying to stay in shape and coaching up his kids. And the Rams had some unfortunate safety injuries. Taylor Rapp with that concussion, and then Jordan Fuller, the captain at safety, goes down as well. So it was kind of lucky that the Rams were able to call somebody and have somebody available, and not only somebody that was available, somebody who is comfortable with this team, and he's going to be wearing the green dot for this game for the Rams. So, I mean, it's just the playoff run, which is awesome, and he gets to green dot, and I think that's quite a story for Eric Weddle to be able to just come off the couch and play, and not only play but contribute. Led the team in tackles in the NFC Championship game, and now he's getting a green dot for the Rams defense. I think it's an awesome story.
Joe, just to touch on Von Miller and Aaron Donald, I mean, Joe Burrow being sacked 12 times in the playoffs. I mean, you got to figure these guys are foaming at the mouth just to get in that backfield to knock Joe Burrow around or, knock the man out of the game. What's your take on, as you were saying before?
Yeah, well, obviously we know the whole big storyline for this one is that Bengals offensive line against this Rams pass rush. And Von Miller, when he first showed up to LA in that trade, it kind of took some time to get going, but he was also coming off that injury. He was hurt when we traded for him, so kind of took some time, but this playoff run has been unbelievable. He made the comment that he said, one of the first things that he said to Aaron Donald when he showed up was, I'm going to do everything I can to help you get a ring. And now we're one win away from it, and then of course, Aaron Donald, he's had quite the career, as most of us football fans are well aware of. But there's that one checkbox that he's missing on that Hall of Fame career, even though I would say he's in line to get there anyway. But there's that one box that's missing, and that's Super Bowl champion. And that can be taken care of in, just a couple hours now. So I think that the drive of this team, there's no lack of motivation, especially from that pass rush. Von Miller obviously wants another one. Aaron Donald is definitely hungry for that ring. So the motivation is there. I think that that Bengals offensive line is the storyline. And so that they're hearing that stuff too. So I expect them to not just come in and lay down, but I think Aaron Donald, Von Miller, they're going to get after Burrow for this one.
Joe, could you touch on the run? Not many people are talking about this Rams running game with Sony Michel. And I mean, everybody, could you touch on the receiving, like with the receivers with Cooper Kupp and the running game, just to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, one kind of part that's interesting on the pass game there and the Rams receivers is, I mean, who do the Bengals have that can match up one-on-one with Cooper Kupp? I would say that answer is nobody on that roster. Of course, they've gotten here. You don't get to the Super Bowl on accident. You don't just stumble and wake up and then all of a sudden you're in the big one. So this Rams receiving group, I think, has a good matchup there as far as, Eli Apple covering Cooper Kupp, and then it looks like probably a Woozier on OBJ. I like those matchups. As far as the ground game goes, Sony Michel and Cam Akers have been an awesome combo for the Rams these last to wrap up the end of the season and then going into the playoffs. But DJ Reader in the middle of that Bengals defensive line, obviously quite the concern there when you're running the football. And he matches up, I think, really well over Brian Allen, the Rams center. And that has been a little bit of the weakness of the Rams the Rams' offensive line is that middle there. So I think that if we see Akers and Michelle really have some success, I think it'll be on the outside running around Andrew Whitworth and Rob Havenstein at the tackle spots. But I think that we'll see that kind of happen and then run that play action to see if we can confuse this secondary a little bit, even though there are some very talented players out there.
You talking about Von
So
Miller earlier?
you guys have
kind
to touch on the Rams running.
Wait, say again, Chipper.
Can't hear Angel at all.
I can hear Angel.
Fuji.
I can hear everybody on my end.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there we go.
Food. Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
we can now.
I can hear you.
All right, Chipper. What was your question?
Well, I was going to touch on the running game real quick. You brought up Cam Akers and Sonny Michel. Now, don't forget Henderson is activated. So I'm curious to see how they decide to split carries if Henderson is actually able to play a lot of snaps.
Yeah, he is. Scheduled to be back in this one, but I wouldn't anticipate a whole lot of carries out of Henderson. I think it'll be a lot of Cam Akers and Sonny Michel. If Henderson gets in at all, I would say he probably gets max about 3 carries. But he's been able to. He's a big. He's helped the Rams get to this point. But I wouldn't say that. You got to kind of stick with the hot hand there. So I'm not sure if we'd see a lot of Henderson in this one.
Are there any threats on the Cincinnati team that you guys are kind of trying to prepare for before heading into this game? I mean, what's kind of been the talk about, like, who does this defense need to prepare for, or who even does the offense need to prepare for on the Bengals side of it? Because, as the underdogs in this game, I know that they're really hungry for this. And that, even the governor of Ohio has said, even if you're from the Northeast and you root for that team that plays in First Energy, or as we affectionately refer to it as the Factory of Sadness, he said everybody needs to wear Bengals gear. Well, I mean, you can see we're not. So,
did you think we're even? I'm not wearing blue either.
But are there any threats that the Rams are looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, the big conversation has been Joe Burrow. I mean, he obviously looks like the real deal. He's turned that team around what feels like single-handedly, because Zach Taylor's been there for a little bit and just kind of wasn't able to get that boulder really pushed up the hill. And then Joe Burrow comes in, and of course he gets hurt last year, it's like that. But we definitely saw the flashes last year with Burrow, where it's like, man, this guy could be really good. And then this season, I mean, he's doing something unbelievable. If the Bengals get that guy in offensive line, I mean, that team is scary, especially because of Burrow. And he's able to run around. He's able to buy that time. And not only buy that time, but he keeps his eyes downfield. And for such a young guy to be able to have that mindset and to be scrambling for his life out there behind that line and still looking for his targets, I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, we saw it against the Chiefs that sometimes the coverage kind of gave up in a sense of thinking that maybe the play was over, and then you get somebody wide open. So that has been the conversation on the Rams side, is Joe Burrow is kind of an X factor. He's young, he's a little bit green, but maybe that helps him in a sense. He doesn't have to overthink a little bit. And a guy like Stafford having that pressure on him, I don't think that Burrow's necessarily fully there with that yet. So I mean, he's an X factor, and that guy he's unbelievable. He can definitely get some stuff done. But behind that line and this pass rush, I don't know. That's kind of the story. Is he going to be able to run away enough from Aaron Donald and Von Miller, or are we going to get to him and put him on the grass?
Yeah, I know that they were saying too that Chase was expecting a child. This was last night, obviously, that Chase was expecting a child at any second. I mean, do you think that that's the kind of distraction he needs going into possibly the big game?
Are you talking about OBJ or Chase?
Chase.
I don't know about Chase expecting a kid. I know that OBJ is any second now.
Okay, maybe it was OBJ.
Yeah, he's yeah. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting little side factor, I guess. But I don't think when you're like on the field, I don't think he's going to be running around thinking like, oh, I wonder if my kid's here. I think he's just going to be in the moment there. So yeah, it's a interesting factor that you can kind of consider for a distraction. But I think once you're out there in the Super Bowl, I think he's going to be ready. And especially he gets a $1 million bonus with a win today. So I think he's going to be a little focused.
Yeah, $1 million makes you a little bit more focused than once you are. That baby can wait a few hours. Hopefully he has a healthy kid coming out, him and his wife or girlfriend or whoever she is. Kudos to them, baby. Hopefully it's born on a Super Bowl, because that'd be pretty cool. Your dad winning the Super Bowl and you being born, that'd be a nice little story. But how about the backstory behind that? He leaves Factory of Sadness and he goes to Los Angeles, handpicks where he goes with help of his buddy LeBron, and now you're playing in the Super Bowl. I
think the OBJ story I think is awesome. When he was with Cleveland, he was the superstar, and he was required to be the superstar in Cleveland. Like he was the biggest name, no doubt, especially on the Browns team. And they have some good players there and stuff, but he was the main guy, and he was required to be the focus, the attention, and if he had a good game, then they felt good about winning. If he had a bad day, then maybe they weren't looking at a W that day. But he comes to Los Angeles and he's not required to be that guy. Even in just the wide receiver room alone, he's not that guy, with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods in the building as well. And then the rest of the offense, Matthew Stafford, Andrew Whitworth, you got other guys on the other side of the ball, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. So he's by no means required to be the superstar. And I just think he fits in with this team. I mentioned that on my podcast, Rams Showcase, when he first came in, was that, like, because of course even Rams fans were a little bit nervous of like the locker room cancer comment got thrown around a lot. And I kind of just said the opposite of that, is like, he's not strong enough. He's not powerful enough to ruin the Rams locker room. Like, we have such a strong culture that OBJ is not strong enough to destroy it. And not only has he not destroyed it, I think he's helping it. And, we see the clips on the sideline where he's even commenting the we not me mentality and stuff. And he fits in so perfect here. He sounded excited. He lit up when the reporter this week asked him if he would be willing to take a little bit less to stay with the Rams. He seemed excited about it. And it seems like he's here for a long time, hopefully at least, because he's been a great addition to this team, and his skill. I think that we can kind of see that he's going back a little bit to those Giants days when he was really thriving in the NFL, and we're seeing him kind of reemerge back to that prominence, which is really cool to see.
You see, that's not a story that we hear here on this end of it. I mean, it's always just, OBJ was this and OBJ was that. And, they even talked about Jarvis Landry kind of press bombing his press conference when he was going into the Super Bowl. And, how Landry was just like, go get that ring for us. Go get that ring for us. Well, it has nothing to do with you, Jarvis. The team that didn't even make it 500. Why are you bombing in on this man's presence? Like, let him shine. Let him have his moment.
I think when he was saying us, Lee, I think he was talking about him and Jarvis, because they're pretty tight, man.
I understand that they're friends.
They went to LSU together. They started a journey here in Cleveland and whatnot, and it just didn't work out the way that they wanted it to. And now, you got to be happy for your friend, Well,
okay, I get that part of it, but to sit there and just like interject yourself into his press time, that's kind of ridiculous.
Is somebody opening up dishes in the background?
Yeah, it's probably Fuji folding his laundry.
How do you know? I got jokes.
It sounds like somebody's putting away dishes in the background.
That's Fuji, when he gets really thirsty, he likes to take a swig of the canister he has under. He's got a canteen.
It's probably the ice rattle in my Eagles color.
Oh, that's okay.
See, Eagles, I represent my team well, baby.
He says it's ice in there, but
represent.
We resent.
Now, this is a Philly show, fellas. This is my show or our show, but I'm the only one here in Philly, so I represent my team and my city.
That's great. Pay no mind to him, Joe. He's all right. He puts a little bit of vodka and cranberry in there, and that's what ends up happening. Since he puts it in there, he gets all over the sport.
I haven't unleashed the dragon yet today. But when I do, I'll make sure I'm on tape, and I'll have somebody play it back for you.
Angel, any new news on your next door neighbor TB12?
Yeah, how's your buddy doing down there?
The rumor is that supposedly he wants to. Now, take this as a grain of salt because what's going to happen here is you're not going to get Tom Brady to come back at 50. That's what the rumor is, that he wants to come back at the age of 50. At 50 years old, right? Your legs, your knees, arthritis, all that stuff ends up kicking in there. And even though Tom was not put on his back for 18 years of his NFL career as much out there in New England, you're not going to get the same thing here. So if he wanted to come back, and again, you want to call retirement early, and a lot of these guys, we've seen them in the NFL. Well, I don't want to do anymore. I'm not in it and anything else. And then everything starts to swirl around, and people will say, well, why did he decide to walk away if he really wants to still play? So there's just rumors. That's all I'm going to say at this point, because all it is. The same way with Gronkowski right now, he's thinking about whether he stays with the Bucs, and he goes through what they're calling the non-rebuild, but we all know they're going to rebuild him because you're losing 26-year folks. So to have him come back at this point, it's probably going to be slim to none. And if I would have to be a guessing, somewhat betting man on Super Draft Pro, I would probably say at this point, it'd probably be Jimmy G that they would make a deal for down here in Tampa Bay, because Jameis Winston is not going to be taken out of New Orleans to be brought back to Tampa Bay to have him lead that team after he led them for 30 for 30. And I'm not talking about ESPN either.
Well, you sound like you know more than what's going on ESPN down there. I mean, I know you got your ear to the street. And I want to know if you got that care package yet from Brady.
I sure did it.
So what he's saying is TB12 has basically sworn him to secrecy for the time being.
Probably more so than Adam Schefter and a couple of these other folks out here in the media.
I think Brady's messing with everybody, by the way, because Schefter ruined his retirement announcement.
Well, that's because they're still going by that they wanted. If it was up to them, they'd still be saying today that he's going to retire. They just screwed up altogether. And Adam Schefter, and we talked about this before, shame on him, because that's now twice he's been duped. And that man is barely duped, but to get duped twice, it does, it starts bringing that credibility down. Everybody knows that it's not a good thing whenever that happens. So if he wasn't ready, and I know everyone wants to jump in, everyone wants to be the first one to put out breaking news. This what happens, that what happens. Even us on Broad Street South, as much as I would love to say we're trying to break stories, I don't, for a simple reason, is because you don't know anyone as, what's the new words? Misinformation, disinformation, not information, whatever information.
Misinformed.
So whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, because everybody wants to be the first one to jump the gun on it, just like TMZ Sports. And that's why they've taken a backseat to a lot of this stuff, because they know when they decided to break out the Kobe story, they got themselves into a whole heap of trouble. So therefore, if Tom really wanted to think about it, and if he really didn't want to retire, which again, I thought, as we talked about it, I thought it was really odd that he would go out on a loss. That's not something that Tom Brady does. So who knows? Maybe come springtime, he'll feel like he's got to get his legs back, and maybe his Miami mansion will be built by then, and he'll feel like he's got one more year left in him. Who the heck knows? He's under contract with the Bucs still. So the only difference is he didn't collect on a $15 million bonus unless they decided to give it to him. But I don't see at this point for him to decide to say, you know what, I'm just dying to come back. And hey, listen, he's been around for 20 years. He did what he had to do. He was 1-7. No other quarterback in history will ever do that again. So it is what it is.
Angel, how do you know there's a mansion being built in Miami?
Because he already talked about it.
You would know.
You're going to go. That is exactly where I was.
How you would know.
Yeah, because he had already talked about it. He talked about it. Don't forget, what Giselle wants, Giselle gets, correct? So she wanted the warm weather down in Miami. They could have stayed in Tampa, but don't forget that also Derek Jeter's mansion was sold over there at in that island across from Tampa General. So he had to find a place, no matter which way you look at it. Giselle, and like everyone else. So you got what, East, South Hollywood, if you want to call it, versus LA, and that's where she wanted to be. Anything else?
No, I was just
Okay.
wanted to
So for those
get our take
I
of
don't know what's
Brady.
going on. Feel free to watch.
It broke up again. Chipper, if you can say it again, it broke.
for those that actually want to know the inside scoop on TB12, be sure to follow Angel Martinez on Twitter and Broad Street South on Twitter. Angel knows all the inside info as far as TB12 goes.
Well, here, I got some inside info on TB12. Tom Brady will be a Buccaneer starting quarterback week 1. Book that.
Is that what you think?
September.
Yes.
I don't know,
Can you vouch for that, Angel?
I will get back to you. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there in LA today just to get to take it all in to see exactly what's going on. But I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. So
shaking hands and kissing babies, all that good stuff. Gonna run for politics.
I mean, we have the reflection coming off of Angel's computer there, and it looked like I just saw Tom Brady walking through his backyard.
Wait a minute. We're having bad internet connection. Is Angel and Debbie a honeymoon suite at Tom's new house?
it could be a possibility.
You're killing me. Oh, man. You're killing me. I opened up the floodgates.
It could be a possibility.
Hey, Joe, if you ever want to you can fire away anytime you feel like feel free.
I'm going
feel
back
free for the man with the bullseye on his back and tape.
I'm just hoping that Brady doesn't return because I want to be able to say for the rest of time that Brady's last game was a loss to the Rams, so I don't want him to come back. All right.
That's right. Listen, but I want to get back to a topic earlier, which was with Von Miller there. Von Miller, we know that obviously he ended up in LA looking to get yet another Super Bowl ring. There was a special on him this week when he went back to his former high school and retired his number. So, Joe, do you believe if, let's just say all things hypothetical here, the Rams win their second Super Bowl, does it look like Von Miller would decide to say, you know what, I'm hanging up the cleats, I'm done? And or even if they do win, does Von Miller come back for one more year? Because he seems to be really liking LA lifestyle.
Yeah, well, historically, he's gone to Los Angeles over the off seasons and spent quite a bit of time out there already. So I do think that it is in the conversations that he will return. I haven't heard anything or anything leading to a potential retirement, unlike people like Andrew Whitworth, probably he's playing his last game today. But I've really gotten that sense from Von Miller, and it does feel like he will be returning to the Rams if he does continue playing.
Yeah, well, and again, because the Weisenheimers here decided they want to gang up today, but that's okay. It's no big deal. I'm used to it. So I'll clear everybody out here for a second just to bring up Spectre Sports Art. If you guys are looking for some great NFL memorabilia and you want it to be something special, you can go to SpectreSportsArt.com. Of course, the link is right there to our website, BroadSTSouth.com, BroadStreetSouth.com. And Danielle Torre, I see your comment there. I will reach out afterwards and to let you know how you can get it all taken care of there. So I do see the comment. I'll get back to you as far as trying to fire things up there. And so you guys can see it. And she was asking, can you guys try to help somehow? I have a podcast that is in the process of launching. I'm planning to try and incorporate CIF talk into the show to try and stay neutral in between talking about both Southern and city section schools, especially considering the fact that I have an emotional connection to LA Unified and went to a Southern section school, Agoura High School, and live in an area that is prejudiced towards LA Unified. And I think it's okay, even though it's not. It's the best advice I can give you other than off air is anytime you want to talk about, as we do here at Broad Street South, you want to stay neutral to everything that you end up talking about, because of course you can just gang up on one side. It's harder, and especially, we can gang up on the Dallas Cowboys if you want to, because it's the most hated rivalry between Philly and Dallas.
Oh my God! Did you just say their Angel? You were off the Christmas card list. You just said their name. I thought they were the Death Blue Star.
Yeah,
they are the Death Blue Star, but I said Dallas. I didn't say the whole name. I did say Dallas. So either way, but no, listen, it's hard. it's hard to obviously not pound one team over the other because you want to keep it neutral. But anytime you want to talk about something, always try to keep it as neutral as possible. Even if you do have feelings for the school you used to attend or you are part of and or a team you're a part of, always try to keep it neutral because it's hard. And as far as when it comes to viewers or listeners or anything else, you want to make sure you try to keep it as neutral as possible. No matter how much the heart may hurt talking about something else, always make sure you keep that neutral. So that's the best advice I could give you, and hopefully it'll help you out with the situation. Although Rick had chimed in just a little bit earlier, he said he has he's got a home in Clearwater in Harbor Island, over 8,000 square feet. That being Tom Brady. So in Clearwater is absolutely beautiful. Again, I will apply the comment later on. I won't talk about it right now. But and Dan Worley, what's up, Dan? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, no, that's a river somewhere not nearby us. So, listen, all I know and at least from what I can see, as far as the Rams, Joe, seem like they're at least focused upon getting yet again another championship today, in which obviously Cincinnati, if Drew was here, he would be speaking about him as well. But Cincinnati, no one saw this, as the guys from Steel City Renegades, I brought it up just a little bit earlier. No one saw Cincy being in there. And especially when you talk about earlier during the season, I think they were chosen to be picked fourth in the division overall after the season was over. So for the job that they've done to be able to come in there, hang in all season long, and now Joe Burrow leading them to that Super Bowl, if you had to flip sides here, just putting your Rams to the side, right, and just thinking as a fan, does Joe Burrow have enough to actually beat the Rams today?
Yeah, I mean, Burrow's extremely talented. All signs indicate that he is the real deal, and he is going to be a good quarterback in this league for a very long time. He absolutely can get this done, and that's why my Rams fandom is nervous. You know, it's not just going into this game is just like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. We're going to get a ring today. There is that, because Burrow is absolutely good enough, and we've seen it. Nobody gave the Bengals a chance to win in Tennessee. Nobody gave the Bengals a chance to win in Kansas City, and here they are. So. And now they're the underdogs again. So they've kind of taken to that mindset. And, you know, we've seen before teams like the Giants, you know, kind of coming in last second there and kind of creeping in. Of course, they were the Bengals as well as the Rams were 4 seed, but the Bengals have that kind of underdog mentality in them. I know a lot of people were picking the Raiders to beat them in the first round. So yeah, they can absolutely get it done. And there's a lot less for them to lose, I suppose, than the Rams, because there's a lot of pressure on the Rams with the way that they've accumulated stars. And the Bengals, if they were to lose this game, it's kind of like, well, maybe next year they can do it. And with the Rams, it's like, well, can they keep this team intact? So this Bengals team, that underdog mentality, I think is really beneficial to them entering this game.
All right, so I'm going to have you switch. Well, go ahead, Dave.
I think the Bengals should have went in there and took because they had the pick of the locker room. If I was the Bengals, I would have went in there and took the Rams locker room and made them go into the Chargers locker room so they can have the advantage of this. That's what I would have done, just play mind games with them.
Yeah, I would have done the same exact thing, honestly. Rams get their home locker room, their home sideline. It's kind of weird. Like the only thing that'll really be different and really away for the Rams, because we've worn the white uniforms at home multiple times this season as well. So it's not we're picking the coin toss. Like that's like the one thing that's going to feel weird about it as far as like a Rams road game is that we pick the toss. That's about it, honestly.
No, I will say it. I'll get back to you here in a second. But if now, big word being if here, the Rams end up winning, there's one place that I want you to absolutely get your cigar from, because you will enjoy it. Even if you don't smoke it, you will enjoy it. But if you go to jcnewman.com, the United States oldest factory cigar down here in Ybor City, right in Florida, right outside of Tampa. So, Joe, if you end up winning, right, along with the rest of the Rams fans and everyone out there in LA, you guys should visit jcnewman.com. And they will deliver out there to whether it's in Colorado, whether it's in LA, whether it's overseas, they will deliver your best cigar possible. And if you go down to Ybor City and you visit that beautiful location down there, it is absolutely stellar. So if you guys end up getting a chance, by all means, when you travel down to Ybor City, it's a great place to go to. So I will leave you with that, with jcnewman.com. And by the way, if speaking about Matt Stafford and switching back gears here, so I'm gonna bring it to the Rams side and also to Detroit side. So Detroit fans obviously probably didn't like where he ended up leaving from or getting the whole trade going on here from Detroit to being switched over. So now and this would be, again, all things possible, Rams win today, how upset are the Detroit Lion fans?
I don't think that they are upset. I actually, about 5 minutes before we came on, one of my good friends called me, Kurt Steele. He's a big Detroit Lions fan. He does Detroit Lions podcast, a couple of shows like that. So he gave me a call, and he actually just told me that for this game, he'll be wearing his number 9 Stafford Lions jersey. And I don't think Lions fans will be upset about the Rams winning at all. I think that they would just be happy for Stafford. I think they would be sad that it wasn't Stafford wearing a Lions uniform. But I think that they're happy for Stafford. And, of course, with Eminem doing halftime shows, stuff like that, I think it's kind of cool. And then Ashawn Robinson, also a former Lion. So, I don't know if there's any bitterness or not, really, from the Lions side.
Yeah.
I mean, in this game, is there not one guy you cannot root for other than Matt Stafford? With all the torture they had to deal with in Detroit.
I agree with you.
Detroit decides to let him go. He didn't want it. He didn't come out in the media and say that he wanted to go. He didn't go to social media or anything that said he wanted out, anything else like that. He kept to himself. The Detroit organization did him a favor, did him a justice, did him a service,
did him a solid.
Yep.
Because he earned his right. He earned his right to
by letting him go, letting him go to the Rams. He's in the Rams. He's finally got a shot at a Super Bowl. That huge monkey off his back. That is the one guy I'm definitely rooting for in this game is Matt Stafford, because I really want him to get that Super Bowl victory.
Well, yeah, Stafford's definitely in that conversation. I think there are others as well. What was that?
We may have cut off. Go ahead, Sheriff.
Well, yeah, Matthew Stafford. I mean, his story of this one is obviously it's easy to root for Matthew Stafford in this one. He got beat up in Detroit all those years and everything, and then I think that there's multiple stories like that. One that I'll point to that I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier was Andrew Whitworth. Whitworth, being now with the Rams for the last few years and his second appearance in a Super Bowl for the Rams, but a chance to get that win over the Bengals, is rather exciting. And I think that if the Rams win this one, I think that this is his last football game either way. But I think to see him on stage and his retirement after winning a Super Bowl, beating the former team that he played for, I think is awesome. And then, of course, Aaron Donald, who I think is absolutely deserving of being a champion. And the career that he's been able to have, being picked 13th overall by the Rams back, years ago in St. Louis. And he's one of those guys, we don't want to see him be one of the all-time greats that never got a ring. And that list is rather long. Even just the Rams greats is rather long of greats that didn't get a ring. And we don't want to add Aaron Donald to that list. So there's multiple guys I think are easy to root for from the Rams side, just like there are guys that are easy to root for on the Bengals side. But of course, I lean towards one way in wanting a lot of these guys over here to get a ring, especially even Eric Weddle. We mentioned him earlier. He doesn't have any rings, anything like that. So, there's a lot of guys on this team I would be happy for, not only just for myself seeing the Rams win a Super Bowl, but a lot of guys on this team that I'd be really stoked to see win it.
Hey, Sheriff, you talked about real quick Andrew Wentworth. How about his speech when he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award? Awesome speech. Awesome. Very inspirational.
Yes.
If you guys have not seen it, go listen to it.
Yeah, it's great. And what he's been able to do in Los Angeles, the impact that he's been able to have, not just on the field, but off the field. And he's just kind of like that model person, which is exactly what that Walter Payton Man of the Year award is for. His speech was incredible, and he's been the Rams nominee for years now. And last couple, he's not even making it to the final three and stuff like that. It's kind of like, man, like put him in there. What are you doing? But he finally got one. It's good to see.
Joe, as far as touching on back to Matt Stafford, I don't know if some people may know this, but his wife had brain surgery about a year ago. And, I know that was like pretty inspirational, to her about, Matt Stafford being traded to the Rams and then overcoming all this adversity, being in Detroit for 13 years and then going to the Rams within the last year or so. I mean, can you touch on that story a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly how long ago that happened. It was definitely in his Detroit time with the whole Kelly Strong stuff. And to see them, that moment there winning the NFC Championship game, and then they just kind of had their little moment, to themselves, Kelly and Matthew did. And that was really cool to see. The way that she supports him is, something that I think most people love to have in their lives and stuff. So that it's super cool to see. Kelly Stafford's been awesome. She was helping get a bunch of Rams fans to the NFC Championship game, and what they've been through, that family has been through, and to see them just be able to be in these big moments, something that they've wanted for quite a while. I think it's really cool to see.
Didn't we have the same story with Kurt Warner when he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams? Didn't his wife have brain surgery or something?
I believe so.
Believe to touch on it, Dave.
I don't recall. I was pretty young that time. The last time the Rams won the Super Bowl I was 8, so I wasn't super in depth like I am today.
That's pretty coincidental. And I mean, I remember that. I remember that. I think it was she had brain surgery.
I think she may have had a cancer of some sort, but I don't remember exactly what kind of cancer she had.
It was something that was huge that happened right before the Super Bowl.
I do recall. You are correct, Dave. Well, look at the movie that just came out with Kurt Warner on Christmas.
Yeah, you know.
I forgot the name of it, but I mean, it's kind of like a Rocky story.
It's called American Underdog.
I haven't had a chance to go see it. We're trying to get the whole squad out here to go see it, but it hasn't schedules have not fallen together yet. So now that the season's wrapping up, I'm sure we'll get a chance.
Oh, I'm quite sure. Listen, all I know is I hope I hope it's not a snooze fest, put it that way, because it could go two ways. Obviously, we've seen it in previous Super Bowls, is that either you're getting one side's getting lambasted, and then finally we end up seeing the changeover at the half. It would be nice to see the first half for both teams to go toe-to-toe and either have it tied up or at least within 3 within the first half, and then see what the adjustments will be made on the second half to pretty much put it through and or make it a nail-biter until the final second. Therefore, I mean, you can really enjoy the moment. I know when it came to the Eagles just 4 years ago, I do remember just that last second by Tom Brady throwing the Hail Mary and seeing if it was going to come down or any penalties or anything else. And I'm telling you, the jubilation that came through afterwards, it's like no other. So for your first one, Joe, I hope that you get to enjoy it just as much Drew on the other side and the rest of the Ohio fans that I'm pretty sure are going to absolutely go bananas over. And just to put it out there, which I did when I was out there in Philly, I was I was supposed to be off on Sundays and Mondays for my previous job. And I did not go back to work until a week later, which I called out sick every single day just to celebrate that entire week. So I'm not telling you to call it the entire week, but it may get to that point because there's going to be a lot of massive celebrations.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm calling off because I'm celebrating and not because I'm still drowning my sorrows. That's the plan.
That would be a good thing.
Either the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat. So
that's just it.
Exactly why
either way, we'll still be here.
This is exactly why I do it, and I tell all my friends to do it, to take the Monday after Super Bowl off, just to be safe.
Yeah. After that NFC Championship game, I walked to my boss's office and said, "What are my options?" It's only just take the day.
That's just it. I'm telling you, there's nothing. Listen, there's nothing guaranteed to say that you will get back there the following year. I mean, Buffalo tried 4 years in a row, and it's taken them forever since to get back over there. So there's nothing guaranteed to say you're going to get back there. So enjoy every single moment. Joe, remember everything you did leading up to that day, to that hour, and then let the nervousness begin.
It's not.
But it's just going to be one of those moments. But listen, I want to keep it much longer because I know you're getting ready to head over to another part of LA to do yet another show. But we appreciate you coming on. Again, we hope the best for the Rams, the same way for Cincinnati, and may the best win is the best thing I can end up possibly saying. But before we sign everyone off here, Joe, I want to make sure you tell everyone where they can get a hold of you, whether it be on Twitter, and for your favorite podcast that you're on, that you host yourself.
Yeah, so I am Sheriff Joe Baggs, host of the Rams Showcase podcast. There are social media sites for all of that, which would be at Sheriff Joe Baggs for myself. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and at Rams Showcase. Same locations there. There is a TikTok, but I'm really bad at it, so we're pushing it still. But yeah, if you guys want to follow there, we'll start getting some stuff going there as well. But Rams Showcase is my podcast, like I had mentioned. There's an audio version that's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. It's actually on every single RamblinFan.com page as well. We've partnered with Fansided recently. So any Rams page on Fansided, then you can hear me as well. But then the YouTube channel also, just Rams Showcase on YouTube, and we break the show into different clips there. So it's a little bit easier to ingest that content, and you can see me talk about the Rams instead of just hearing me.
It's always good. So any final words well, Dave and the guys, I guess we'll get your predictions, even though I know you have a show coming up here right afterwards. But I guess we'll get the predictions here. We'll let the visitor here, at least the visitor for our show, but for his home field. But what are the predictions from you guys over there from Steel City Renegades on the final outcome for today?
I got Bengals 30, Rams 27.
I have Rams 27, Bengals 20.
I'm going to go with Dave. Bengals 30, Rams 27.
Yeah. Fuge.
Rams 33. Bengals 30.
All right. I'm thinking at as much as obviously LA, which is not one of those favorite teams from Philly either, but I think since he pulls it off, and I'm going with 35-33 Cincinnati. Joe, I know you're going for your Rams, but I'd like to get your take.
35.
I'm going.
He's got a 5 on this.
I'm going Los Angeles Rams 27, Cincinnati Bengals 13.
Wow.
Nice.
All right. We will see. Again, we hope that Matt Stafford, he's looking for that first one, and I'm pretty sure we'll hear about it come tomorrow when it comes to all the networks as far as if Matt Stafford can pull it off. So we'll see. Should be a really good game with Joey Burrow and crew. So everyone who tuned in today, we do appreciate everyone who came on with us. Also, along with our sponsors here. Well, sorry, I should have added stuff taken away here. Talking about as far as traveling with the pros, if you guys go to phillysportstrips.com, phillysportstrips.com, you can travel with the pros and check out their lineup package. You're going out again for a golf outing, which, by the way, speaking of golf outing, you can find that fine hat. If you're going out there, right, you can take that fine look over there with you over to phillysportstrips.com so you can go out there and get your golf game on. But seriously, if you guys want to travel with the pros and see what the package is all about, please, by all means, reach out to Vince Rizzuto, president of Philly Sports Trips. And by the way, you can find them on social media as well. So you guys can take a look at their packages coming up. They have one. Again, we didn't get the news. I hear you, Fuge. We ended up getting the news that Major League Baseball did not come through with a deal yesterday. But let's hope the season gets kicked off. And what's that, Fuge?
I was going to say, not as in just a golf trip. It's a golf trip to Scotland.
Right.
So, I mean, if anybody would like to go, hit up Vince Rizzuto and Philly Sports Trips. Check them out. They're the best in the business. I believe the trip is in April or May. No, it's coming up.
July.
So check out. So I'm off a couple months. So check out phillysports.com. Vince Rizzuto and the crew there will take care of you.
By the way,
Angel knows because he's taking TB12.
I didn't say it.
And listen, you never know. Rick says Bengals 38, Rams 27. And Tom, thank you for always tuning in. Great show today, guys. We're appreciating. Kareem, thank you for your comment as well. And by the way, of course, visit, because we cannot forget, for Tampa Joe's out there, TampaJoes.com, 9316 Anderson Road in beautiful Tampa, Florida. A hop, skip, and a jump right off the airport there on 589 Veterans Highway. Take a look at their menu at TampaJoes.com. Great food. It's a great place, and it's going to be packed down there tonight. I always say about 5 o'clock you should have show or people showing up down there. And by the way, there will be a 50-inch TV giveaway if you hang out until the end of the game. So go down to Tampa Joe's, 9316.
How quick can we get to Tampa?
Hey, Angel, run down there real quick as fast as you can, or have Tom's limo driver go down there and put some money on it for the Steel City Renegades.
Right?
All right. I'll make sure I do it. Or if not, listen, just go over to Super Draft Pro. I'm pretty sure they'll take care of you as well. So if you guys go to BroadStreetSouth.com, you can do it that way too. So take a look, take a link. And by the way, on BroadStreetSouth.com, you guys can click on the top right one and you will see it. Super Draft Pro. If you guys want to bet on game today, and obviously you can win money if you are a state that's eligible. Let me put that straight out there. If your state is eligible for you to gamble online, visit superdraftpro.com. You guys can take the link right from our website on BroadStreetSouth.com. Put in your bet today. And if you don't live in a state that you can gamble, you can still go on the site, put your money in there, and basically you can take your money and put it for other prizes and or for your membership. And yes, they go from basic to free to your elite. So take a look and see on superdraftpro.com. Again, click on the link on Broad Street ST, BroadSTSouth.com. Also, Big Sarge at Big Sarge Sports and Big Sarge Sports Media. Always take a look at their link as well, as you guys can see right there, BigSargeSports.com. Take a look at his great content out there, from covering everything from Houston to Dallas. He's the Death Blue Star team. He is part of it, right? But now, he covers the Houston Rockets, and he also covers the Houston Astros. So, and he does a terrific job. And you guys can also hear him on the ND Kalu Show in the trenches Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 Central Standard Time. So check out Big Sarge and everything he does out there. And hopefully I did not forget anyone else there. DJ Montage, if anybody else I forget. Oh, Fuji's always his favorite. Fuji. And by the way, no, matter of fact, I'll give this to Joe. Joe, Rams win today. What website would you go to buy the sports gear that would be readily available as soon as the game is over?
I know. Rorschach.
I know.
Not everybody at once.
All right. Boys up there, Steel City Renegades. Well, and look, and they froze up as they're saying, I know. Wait for the boys to come back.
Guys, in Pittsburgh, let's go.
No, I just heard it. Hold on. Say it again, Chipper.
Fanatics.
There you go. Fanatics.com. So you guys go out there, fanatics.com.
Use code
and there you go. So use the code as he just said there, 24 ship. You get free US shipping. And I'm pretty sure, once again, when the game is over, you guys can pick it up from fanatics.com, whether it be in the Rams, whether it be in Cincinnati. Either way, go to fanatics.com and pick up your sports related gear to celebrate with everyone else. And AJ, our great podcast, podcast brother over from good Lord, why am I drawing a blank?
Rough Cut
TRC.
Sports.
There you go. Rough Cut Sports. I got so many things in my head right now, so I apologize there, AJ. But Bengals 27-23. Sorry, Joe. And again, our brothers from another mother over there, and they do a great job on TRC. Check them out on Facebook. Honest to God, they do such a fantastic job. And AJ is getting close, I believe, to graduating. So congratulate the man. He's been doing some fantastic articles over there for TRC. Also, Sean says Bengals win the bowl with 31-24. Kick comes through for Cincinnati. I like to see Joe Mixon come through with a big game. And Sean says Fuji rocking a Jerome Brown jersey. Absolutely love it. So again, thanks to everyone who tuned in today. We do appreciate it. Again, Joe, good luck with your Rams. Don't have too much crazy fun out there in LA because they need you back in Colorado tonight to make sure to celebrate. So, Joe, thanks for coming back on. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Joe. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right. For everyone else,
You got Renegade now, right?
Yeah, Angel's going to set up Renegades for us. I sent him the 2 links that we needed. We got Kyle and Justin here from Talking About Balls podcast. We got Kareem and Adam joining us. So, sorry we're running a little bit late, but we'll be back up at about 2:10. I got to run to the bathroom.
Me too.
TMI.
and Robert says the Bengals 35, Rams 28. So again,
all
right. I'll get you a Steelers hat, Lee. For all
to
three
everyone else,
guys.
let's everyone enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the game. Thank you to my producer Debbie in Studio B and everyone else who tuned in. We will see you once again, other than the other side here on Steel City Renegades. We will see you on Tuesday night, and we'll have the post-game wrap-up for you on Tuesday night. So everyone, enjoy your Sunday.
See ya.